Glamorous, feature-loaded and expensive. Those are three terms that you could use to describe Mahindra's born electric models, the BE6 and the XEV9e. Expensive because so far you could only buy the Pack 3 top of the line variants, but now there is an option to buy something a little more affordable in the form of the Pack 2. The BE6 and the XEV9e are now both available in Pack 2 form, but are these really a downgrade or are these a package that you can actually live with on a day-to-day basis and be happy about saving a chunk of money? We're here to find out. My name is Amaan Ahmed. You're watching Car and Bike. If you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you're notified every time we come out with a new video. Now, let's take a closer look first at the BE6 Pack 2. First thing you will notice about the BE6 Pack 2 is that the face looks a little different from the Pack 3, and that's because you don't have the full C-shaped LED DRL. You can see this is just a body panel over here. You have only this section, which is the LED daytime running light. Even though the front section for the most part remains unchanged, you still have these front parking sensors. When you come over to the side, you will notice that the wheels look different, and that's because this does not run on alloy wheels. They look like alloys, but it's actually steel wheels with a stylized cover on top of it. But otherwise, in profile, there isn't much else to distinguish the Pack 2 from the Pack 3, apart from this decal on the flank, and this is so subtle most people will miss it. And towards the rear, once again, there is a change in the lighting here too, because you don't have the full width LED lighting present over here. You only have this LED strip that you can see, and this bit is a body panel. And the other big difference is that this only has a regular tailgate, so this is not powered. So you open and shut it the good old-fashioned way. Entering the BE6 Pack 2 is a slightly different experience because this does not get passive keyless entry. It also does not have the electrically deployed front door handle, so you have to press and then pull on the handle. And you also don't have the carpet lamps present on Pack 3. You see, this is the key of the Pack 2. Looks rather nice, still magnetic, and it goes into this slot. And the feel of the interior, the look of the interior of the Pack 2 is more or less the same as that of the Pack 3 because the layout remains unchanged. You still get these two massive screens right in front of you and this squircle-shaped steering wheel. What's good about the Pack 2 is that the steering wheel now has actual buttons on it. The Pack 3 had capacitive touch buttons. Now you get proper buttons, and these have much better tactile feedback, and these will be easier to use on the go. And talking about features, the Pack 2 still has quite a lot to offer. It still gets the 16-speaker, 1400-watt Harman Kardon audio system that you find on the Pack 3. It still gets level 2 ADAS, so you have all your regular ADAS functions like autonomous emergency braking, lane keep assist, lane change assist. All of those are present over here. The one difference on the safety equipment front is that this one has 6 airbags as opposed to the 7 you find on the Pack 3, because this misses out on the driver's knee airbag, and the Pack 2 misses out on the 4 corner radars which are present on the Pack 3. Those enable additional ADAS functions which are not present on this car, and also you miss out on auto parking because these radars are not present, and the BE6 Pack 2 cannot park on its own. But that isn't really a deal breaker. There are, however, other notable omissions from the Pack 2. These front seats that you see, they are part leatherette and part fabric, and they feel comfortable, but they miss out on ventilation. So there is no ventilation for the front seats, and the driver's seat only has manual adjustment. So there's no power adjustment, no lumbar adjust that you find on the Pack 3. Also, the driver misses out on the one-touch up-down function for the driver's side window. The ORVMs are not power folding, and they also don't have the auto dip function when you engage reverse mode. The other striking omission is ambient lighting. because there is no ambient lighting present inside the BE6 Pack 2, and while it has this massive glass roof, it does not feature those lighting elements and takes away a little bit of the wow factor away from the Pack 2. But this still feels fairly well equipped for what it is. It also misses out on the interior camera which is present on the Pack 3 and is used to monitor the driver and also can be used for video calling, so that is another omission. And what's also missing are the 360-degree cameras, which come in super handy and I feel should have been present on a car of this price. Not much is different with the rear seat of the Pack 2. The main change, and which Mahindra hopes will make a big difference, is that Mahindra has changed the color of the headliner. This is a lighter grey / beige shade that Mahindra has opted for to make the cabin feel a little bit more roomy at the back, because a lot of people said that it did feel claustrophobic in the back of the BE6, and to that effect this does help add a little more airiness to the cabin. And what helps is the presence of this fixed glass roof, which of course is also seen on the Pack 3, that's been carried over to the Pack 2. But there isn't much else in terms of comfort for the rear seat passengers, because you don't have the rear wireless charging pad over here, even though there are fast charging USB Type-C ports built into the front seat backrests. And you also don't have rear sunshades, though you do have a center armrest with built-in cup holders. The best part about the BE6 Pack 2 is that this is currently the only variant in the lineup that offers you the choice of two batteries. So you can have it with either the 59 kWh battery or the 79 kWh battery. Remember that the other variants can only be had with one of those battery options. So this is the only one that offers you the power of choice. And of course, you can choose one depending on your usage. The other good thing is that Mahindra has not changed the motor specifications of the Pack 2. So you still get the same motor, the power output remains the same. The 59 kWh variant has a peak output of around 228 bhp. The 79 kWh version has a peak output of around 282 bhp. Peak torque remains the same for both models at 380 Newton meters, which means that this is one of the most powerful cars that you can buy at this price point. And the drive modes remain exactly the same, so there's no difference on that front. So this will be more or less as enjoyable to drive as the Pack 3. And speaking about range, the 59 kWh model Mahindra says will reliably do around 400 kilometers in real world use, while the 79 kWh model will do around 500 kilometers in everyday use. And the charging times also remain the same, so you will be able to fast charge this just the same as you would on the Pack 3. In terms of suspension, there is a change because this misses out on the intelligent adaptive suspension that you get on the Pack 3, even though this still benefits from frequency dependent damping. And now to the part that sweetens the deal about the BE6 Pack 2. This is considerably less expensive compared to the Pack 3. This starts at 21.9 lakh rupees ex-showroom and goes up to 23.5 lakh rupees. On road, that comes up to around 23 lakh rupees for the Pack 2 59 kWh and around 25 lakh rupees for the Pack 2 79 kWh. At these prices, this is almost 4 lakh rupees cheaper than the Pack 3 equivalent of the BE6. And remember that there are plenty of subsidies available across states which will bring the price down further. For example, in Maharashtra, you can currently get up to 1,50,000 off, which will make this considerably more affordable. And road tax in a lot of states is also a concession on EVs, so you will be able to benefit from that as well. At this price point, not only does Mahindra tap into a wider buyer base, but the company believes that people who are looking at a petrol-powered SUV such as a Hyundai Creta petrol automatic will also now be tempted by the Pack 2 because of the breadth of capabilities and features that it has to offer. So what do you think of the BE6 Pack 2? Do you think this looks impressive? Are the features sufficient, or would you have liked to see some more features? Let us know in the comments. Now let's quickly run over to the other side and meet the XEV 9e Pack 2. Now it's time to take a look at the XEV 9e Pack 2, and I'm happy to report that in terms of visual differences, there really isn't much compared to the Pack 3. As opposed to the BE6, which is visually a little bit different, this one looks almost exactly like the Pack 3. The lighting signature up front is exactly the same because you still have the same LED daytime running lights and the twin projector LED headlights. It rides on the same 19-inch alloy wheels as the Pack 3, and because it's available in the same colors as the Pack 3, there really is no way to tell it apart on the outside. And at the back too, it looks almost unchanged compared to the Pack 3. There is, however, one key difference. I will take you back to show you what's different. The tailgate is not powered, so you have to open it and shut it the good old-fashioned way. In terms of safety, the XEV 9e Pack 2 is almost on par with the Pack 3. I say that because this has 6 airbags as opposed to the 7 you get on the Pack 3. The only airbag missing on this is the driver knee airbag, and this still comes with level 2 ADAS. The only difference is that this one lacks the 4 corner radars which are present on the Pack 3. So you miss out on a few additional ADAS functions such as evasive, steering assist, emergency lane change assist, and a few more. But other than that, this is quite solid in terms of what it offers when it comes to safety features. The great part is that though this is the mid-spec XEV 9e, it does not miss out on a lot of equipment compared to the Pack 3. Just like in the Pack 3, you still have this triple screen setup, which is a highlight of the 9e. 12.3-inch, 3 displays, and they work exactly like they do on the Pack 3. Same operating system, same kind of features, same app store that you can access, and you still get a full glass roof. Also present in the 9e Pack 2 is the 16-speaker 1400-watt Harman Kardon audio system, and the look and feel of the interior is more or less the same as the Pack 3, but what's different is the upholstery. So on this, you get a mix of leatherette and fabric. It feels quite nice, but one key feature that is missing from the front seats is ventilation. So there is no ventilation function for the front seats, even though the driver's seat, unlike in the BE6, is powered in the 9e, and it also has adjustable manual lumbar support. But the features that are missing from the Pack 2 include the augmented reality head-up display. You also miss out on the 360-degree cameras. So from inside, you can only view the rear view camera because there are no other cameras. And speaking of cameras, the Pack 3 also has an interior camera which is missing on the Pack 2, so you don't have the video calling functionality or the driver monitoring that is available on the Pack 3. There's no one-touch up-down function for the driver's side window, and there's also no ambient lighting in the Pack 2, which is a highlight of the Pack 3's interior. What will be welcomed by some drivers is the presence of these physical buttons on the steering wheel. The Pack 3 has a lot of capacitive touch buttons, but these are actual buttons and they have much better tactile feedback than the capacitive touch buttons. The rear seat experience in the Pack 2 is more or less the same as in the Pack 3 because you still have lots of room. It feels a little different because the upholstery is a slightly darker color, so maybe it doesn't feel quite as airy as the Pack 3, but you still have this massive glass roof, so it always helps. And you still have a center armrest with built-in cup holders. What is missing from the back is a sunshade for rear passengers, and you also don't have wireless charging at the rear, which is present on the Pack 3. And you have provisions for mounting the holder for your phone, and you have 65-watt fast chargers built into the front seat backrests. At present, Pack 2 is the only XEV variant which you can have with either the 59 kWh battery or the 79 kWh battery. Remember that all other lower variants are 59 kWh only, and the Pack 3 is at this time 79 kWh only. So you have the flexibility to choose with this variant. Now, depending on which variant you choose, the power output differs. So on the 59 kWh model, your peak output is 228 bhp, and on the 79 kWh model, it is 282 bhp, while torque remains the same at 380 Newton meters for all variants. And in terms of performance, this will be no different compared to the Pack 3 79 kWh. Also, this one misses out on the intelligent adaptive suspension of the Pack 3. This one still has the frequency dependent damping. The range figure will also not change. The 59 kilowatt hour version, in Mahindra's words, will do around 400 kilometers in real world use, while the 79 kilowatt hour model, Mahindra says, will definitely crack the 500 kilometer mark. And now we come to the most important part of the Pack 2 video, and that is the price. You see, compared to the Pack 3, the Pack 2 is considerably cheaper. This one on road for the 59 kilowatt hour model will cost around 27 lakh rupees, while the 79 kilowatt hour model will come in at around 28 lakh 60,000 rupees. And this price of course will vary according to location. But remember that a lot of states are now offering incentives which will apply to the final price of the XEV 9e Pack 2. So this in Mumbai will actually be around 1,50,000 less than the price that I have just quoted. Of course, remember that these prices are exclusive of the charger, which is an additional cost. And remember that at this price point, it will also benefit from lower road tax in quite a few states, making this much cheaper than the Pack 3. We are told the difference between the Pack 2 and the Pack 3 on road wise may be anywhere between 3 to 4 lakh rupees, and it could even go up to as much as 5 to 6 lakh rupees in certain locations. So what do you think of the Pack 2? Do you think this makes more sense than the Pack 3 and will bring a lot more customers into the EV fold? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. Let us know if you missed any features in the Pack 2, if you too really think that Mahindra should add ventilated front seats to the Pack 2. And if you have any feedback for us, we'll be happy to hear it. So remember to leave it in the comments. If you found this video informative and enjoyable, then remember to give us the thumbs up. And for more such videos, make sure you follow Car and Bike.